Hey everyone, welcome to week 4 of our Called series. Thanks for clicking the link. And this week we're talking about using a license in your life. And if you've decided to do something about your life, you're like, I'm called to do something. This is what I want to do. Am I going to choose to actually do it? Are you choosing to let the Lord lead you and guide you in it? Are you going to take the authority that comes from the Lord and says, yes, this is what you've chosen and I want to help you do it? Go for it. When you decide to actually go for it, sometimes you need a license to do certain things depending on what your calling is. And mine is nursing. I love being a nurse. And before I could be a real nurse, I needed to take a licensing exam. It was the worst day of my life. But it happened, it's done, and it's over. Thank the Lord. But you have to take a license to pass an exam. Why do you have an exam? You're being tested. You are going to be tested in your life every single day, whether it's, oh my gosh, I just don't want to go to work today. Can I afford to be fired? Or, am I being tested today? I have to get through school, or I have to get through these certifications to get to the next point where I want to be in my life. You're going to be tested. When you think about life, you're going to be tested in life. We're going to lose loved ones. We're going to be faced with some serious struggles, things that we don't feel like should happen to us or our loved ones. And those are all tests as well. And how do we handle that? What kind of license do we get out of that? Well, that's where God comes in and he says, I've already passed the test. I've already taken the crap that comes with this world and I have taken it and tossed it. And I love you so much that I took the brunt. I took the hurt, I took the failure, I took the struggle, I took the sin, and I threw it away because I love you and I want you more than that. And I'm going to allow you to live in this awesome life and be with me forever and ever. And even in spite of your worst day, God still comes through every single time. When you think about applying a license in your life and looking about how that looks, I want you to hear me out on this story. I am a nurse, like I said, and one day I was taking care of a patient with a stroke. And patients who have strokes, that is a sad, sad thing. If you've ever had a stroke, know someone with a stroke, compassion is a huge thing for these patients. And my patient had one, and it had affected her getting her thoughts out. Where the stroke was in her brain, she just could not say what she wanted to say. She knew what she wanted to say, but couldn't actually verbalize it. That's heartbreaking to not be able to get out and say what you need to say, being in a hospital that you've never been in a hospital period. And this was her. And one day I was taking care of her. She was miserable. She was so sad, like crying because she just could not get out her words. She could not figure out how to get me to understand what was going on. And I could tell that she was more upset at the fact that her life is going to be changed, that the conversation that her and I were trying to have will not be the last. It might have been the first, but it was not her last. And she was just so upset. She was crying, and I'm thinking, I don't know what else to do for this woman. I have, given her whatever pill I could give her for whatever situation she's got going on. I've talked to the doctors. I've talked to the neurologist. We're getting a plan together for a discharge for her. And bless her heart, she was so sad. So I took the nursing license that God had given me to put me in that spot. And I said, well, he didn't give me the nursing license to just throw pills around. Or, there's so much more. It's such a mission field. If you're not in nursing, check it out. Shameless plug. But it's such a mission field. You meet people every day who are desperate for something, whether it's love, whether it's care, whether it's hope, compassion, medication, life-saving surgeries. I was there for her. And I looked at her, I held her hand. I said, honey, I don't know what else I can do for you, but all I have to offer, can I please pray for you? And she shakes her head, yes. And so we pray together. And she looks up at me after the prayer and she says, thank you. The fact that she could say those 2 words, she starts crying her eyes out and cannot believe that she was able to verbalize what she wanted to say. Total miracle, whether you believe in them or not. For me, for her, it was a miracle. But without the license, even like the nursing license, I wouldn't have been there. Without the license that God has given me to say, Jesse, you can do better than just say, oh, I'm sorry. God says, do better, and I'm going to help you do that. When you look into the Bible, you can look at the story of David and Goliath. A lot of people know this story. David used what he had, a sling and stones. I used what I had, a nursing license and sheer hope. And, David walked up to Goliath and said, dude, I'm taking you down. You're not going to talk trash about my people and about my God. And he takes him out and chops his head off. Awesome story. Check it out in the Bible. And if you look at that's in the Old Testament. If you look in the New Testament, Paul says, and I'm going to read it to you. It says, finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. Put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand up against the schemes of the devil. You are going to face trials, but God has given you the license. He's given you the armor to wear, to go out and to do it well. And when you decide to take the license and you live it out in your life and you do something with that license that you're given, because God gives you the freedom to go out and do it, your life is going to look different. And with a different life and things looking different because you've made a huge change, people are going to start talking about that. And that's what we're going to talk about next week, is how your life is going to look different when you follow God's calling on your life and you go for it. So all the kudos to you guys. I hope that you are really taking these talks in stride and going for it, and know that I'm cheering you on, and that I hope you're saying your prayers and seeing if God's really called you to live this awesome life, because you can. And know that I'm praying for you, and I hope the very, very best for you. So say your prayers, and I'll talk to you guys next week.